what you're looking at here is a Mafia Kush BMX. This was £4 off of eBay. Mafia are kind of one of the crappiest BMX brands in the world. They had someone that was sponsored by them called Ryan Taylor, who wouldn't accept them for free anymore. That's how bad these were. High tensile steel frame, of course. One piece crank set. It does have a different rear wheel on it with what looks like a 10 or 11 tooths. It's proper free hub rear wheel, but it's made out of cheese, so it really doesn't matter. Bearings are shot in that already. Yeah, Mafia was like, well, it is one of the worst sort of like BMX brands. It's sort of like halfway between like a real BMX and halfway between something you would buy in Tesco's. Same with Collective, really. I know Collective do make some better bikes than Mafia. Mafia make sort of garbage across the board. Whereas Collective do have some slightly better bikes made out of 413 chromoly and stuff like that. Basically, it's made out of gas pipe, plain gauge steel. No chromium in there at all, so it's soft as butter. Has a larger bottom bracket, of course, with those horrible thrust type bearings in there. They're not radial bearings at all. So a caged ball bearing, sort of a halfway house between a thrust, taking an actual load and a radial load. They're not the best for BMX cranksets at all. They have a habit of getting stiff, and any dirt and crud can get in there and totally eat them. Likewise with the steel itself, no chromium being there means its resistance to corrosion is greatly reduced. The only good thing about this type of steel is that it's very easy to weld. No pre and post weld heat treatment needed. You look at the welds, you see they look okay at first glance, but you look here, there's a bit of undercut in here, so that effectively means it's a stress point. This one you can't tell, there's paint over it. If you look here, there's loads of undercut. And in the bottom bracket, oh, how cheap can you be with a filler wire? They've barely put any filler wire in, they've just run the tungsten over the thing and let the arc melt the two tubes together without adding anything to it. Very, very low quality piece of junk. Basically the story behind this one was someone called Jasper Sen's birthday. His mum bought him an orange off of me, and for a laugh we was going to say, oh sorry, you've not been very good, you're going to get this instead. But it didn't end in time. They extended the listing time, and yeah, so that sucked. It didn't really work out too well. It was just going to be a joke, like literally. There's the Mafia Bikes logo there. Just a stuck-on like aluminium thing. Someone's also sprayed this paint spatter effect on it to induce a bit of character, and they've tried to add a bit of character by putting a few dents on the top tube. I don't know, not really dents, they're just scratches, but let's just hope much more than that. Much more. That concludes this video of this terrible Mafia BMX.